All right, today we're going to talk about a part of the internet that's wrapped up in all sorts of mystery, the dark web. But let's forget the hype, forget all the crazy stuff you see in movies. What we're going to do right now is build a really practical, clear-headed guide to what it is, how it works, and most importantly, how you can explore it while keeping your safety and your privacy front and center. So let's dive in.
You know, when you hear the phrase dark web, your mind probably jumps straight to those images of hackers and hoodies, or these shadowy online markets. And look, while that stuff is definitely out there, it's a pretty small and honestly overhyped slice of a much more complicated picture. It's also a super important tool for people like journalists, activists, and privacy advocates all over the world. We're going to unpack all of that.
So to really get a handle on the dark web, it helps to think of the whole internet as a giant iceberg. The part we all see and use every single day, Google, social media, news sites, that's just the tip. That's what we call the surface web. But then underneath the water, there's this massive part called the deep web. That's basically anything that needs a login, like your email or your online banking. And then way, way down at the very bottom, totally hidden on purpose and impossible to get to with a normal browser, that's the dark web. So what's the big difference, really? Well, the surface web, the one we all know, uses familiar addresses like .com, .org, and you can find it all on search engines. The dark web, on the other hand, uses these special .onion addresses, and it's built from the ground up to be anonymous and totally unsearchable by Google or anything like it. You're not just going to stumble upon it. You need very specific tools just to even get in the door.
Okay, here's our game plan. We're going to start with the most basic tool you need, the Tor browser. Then we'll level up to a super secure operating system called Tails. After that, we'll talk about beefing up your browser settings, go over the absolute must-know rules for staying safe, and then we'll wrap it all up with the most important takeaways.
So our first stop is the absolute cornerstone of accessing the dark web safely, the Tor browser. You can think of this as your main gateway and, really, your first layer of digital armor. The Tor browser works by connecting you to something called the Tor network. The best way to picture this is like a giant worldwide system of secret tunnels run by volunteers. When you go to a website, your connection gets bounced randomly through a few of these encrypted tunnels before it gets to its destination. This makes it incredibly hard for anyone watching to figure out where you're coming from or what you're doing.
Getting this set up is actually way easier than it sounds. You just open your normal browser, go to torproject.org/download, pick your operating system, Windows, Mac, whatever, download the file, and then run the installer just like you would for any other program. It's really that simple.
After it's installed, you'll open the browser and just click Connect. And if you want to be extra sure you're on the network and totally anonymous, you can go to the site check.torproject.org. If you see this message right here, you're good to go. Your internet traffic is now officially being routed through the Tor network.
But, and this is a really, really important point, even though the Tor browser makes your web traffic anonymous, your own computer can still be a huge weak spot. Things like hidden data in files, cached information, even background services running on your machine can leave behind a digital footprint that could potentially undo all that anonymity. For just basic privacy, Tor is great. But for serious privacy, it's not enough on its own.
For that next level, truly hardcore anonymity and security, you've got to take it a step further. And that brings us to this amazing operating system called Tails. Think of it as your own personal, secure digital bunker.
Now, Tails is a complete game changer. It's what's called a live OS, which means it runs entirely off a USB stick, totally separate from your computer's main system. The best part? It forces every single thing you do online through the Tor network, no exceptions. And most importantly, it's amnesiac, which means it's designed to forget everything. It leaves absolutely zero trace on the computer you used it on. Once you shut down and pull out that USB, it's like you were never even there.
Making a Tails USB stick sounds way more complicated than it actually is. First, you just download the main file from the official website, tails.net. Then, you use a free, super simple program like Balena Etcher to flash, or install, that file onto a USB drive. Just make sure you're using a blank USB, because this will wipe everything off of it.
Okay, so you've got your Tails USB drive ready to go. Next, you just shut your computer all the way down. Plug in the USB, and then turn the computer back on. As it's starting up, you'll need to press a specific key to get to the boot menu. It's usually F12, F9, or maybe the escape key. Once you're in that menu, you just tell the computer to start from the USB drive instead of its normal hard drive, and boom, you're in Tails.
So now that you're in a super secure environment like Tails, it's time to add one final layer of protection. We're going to tweak the security settings right inside the Tor browser itself.
Before you go anywhere, you really need to ask yourself this question. How secure do you actually need to be? Because your answer is going to determine how you set up your browser. See, there's always a trade-off between having maximum security and having websites actually work properly.
The Tor browser gives you 3 different security levels. Standard is what it starts on. It's the most compatible, but also the least secure. Then you have Safest on the other extreme, which offers the most protection possible by disabling a ton of stuff, but it will also make a lot of websites look completely broken. For most people, Safer, the one in the middle, is probably the sweet spot. It blocks some of the riskier website features without making everything totally unusable.
Okay, we've talked a lot about the tools, but technology is really only half of it. Now we need to talk about the mindset, the critical habits you need to have to stay safe. This is just as much about how you act as it is about what software you use.
So how do you find anything? You can't just use Google. You've got to rely on specific, trusted directories and search engines built for the dark web. A good place to start is AMIA search, because it actively tries to filter out illegal and dangerous content. The subreddit r/onion can also be a good place to find links to trusted services. But the number one rule? Always, always, always double-check those super long, complicated onion addresses. Phishing scams with fake links are everywhere.
Okay, I need you to really pay attention here, because these are the absolute, non-negotiable rules. First, never download files unless you are 100% sure what they are and where they came from. They could be full of malware. Second, never use your real name, your real email, or any piece of personal information, ever. And third, and this is a big one, never, ever log into your personal accounts, not your Gmail, not Facebook, not anything, while you're using Tor. Doing that just completely blows up all the anonymity you've worked so hard to set up.
So now that we've gone through the tools and the most important rules, let's just step back for a second and take a look at the bigger picture here. Here's really the most important thing to remember. The technology behind the dark web is just a tool. It's a powerful instrument for privacy, for anonymity, that, just like any other tool, can be used for good things and for bad things. Its character is really defined by the person using it. So just be smart, be careful, and use this knowledge responsibly.
And all of this kind of brings us to one final big question to think about. In a world that feels like it's under constant surveillance, where our data is always being gathered and analyzed, what does the future of real digital privacy even look like? The fact that tools like Tor and the dark web even exist forces all of us to think about that question. Definitely something to chew on. Thanks for sticking with me.